Russia's senior-most officials could have authorized these activities. General Clapper, those are still operable and correct statements?
Yes, Chairman McCain, they are, as I indicated in my statement.
Who benefits from that, Director Clapper? The American people, them losing confidence in the intelligence community and the work of the intelligence community. Who actually is the benefactor of someone who is about to become commander-in-chief trashing the intelligence community?
It's time now not to throw pebbles, but to throw rocks. I wish we were not here. If it were up to me, we'd all live in peace, but Putin's up to no.
Halfway between Baltimore and Washington, D.C. is a hidden city, the headquarters of the National Security Agency, NSA. Here, tens of thousands of mathematicians, computer scientists, analysts, linguists, and voice interceptors work in absolute secrecy.
For those in the know, the joke was always that NSA stood for no such agency. For those on the inside, the joke was that NSA stood for never say anything.
NSA's job to secretly listen in on telephone conversations, email communications, anything and everything.
People. The whole notion that the Russians have been hacking is belied by the fact that they could not hack without NSA knowing chapter and verse. What we have here is not a hack. We have a leak. It's just too embarrassing for them to recognize that they have a leak. A leak is very different from a hack, okay? Somebody leaked these, some insider. It could be somebody in NSA, it could be somebody in the Democratic National Committee. They leaked that to Julian Assange. And the reason I know that is because were it to have been a hack, NSA has track of each and every email, originator and destination, that is done in this country.
And when you talk about election interference, let's talk about Boris Yeltsin. We were boys with Boris Yeltsin. 1993, we actually helped usurp the first democratically elected parliament in Russia with the help of Yeltsin. He was the most unpopular candidate in the history of Russia. And then in 1996, what do? We highlight the fraud. We basically help him win that election on the front cover of Time magazine, boasting how U.S. diplomats actually helped Yeltsin win. He's there with the little flags. I mean, we have the audacity to say Russia is the one interfering with our election.
Right. I spent 20 years overseas, and maybe you can talk to this. I've watched them spin election after election in Latin America and everywhere else. I mean, there's a long continuum here.
And it's not even just, manipulating and exploiting different electoral processes. It's overthrowing elected governments throughout the world.
Dying.
Dozens of examples. I mean, you can go back, the famous examples in Iran. Iran used to be a democracy in 1953, and the U.S. overthrew its first democracy on behalf of BP.
Or Arbenz in
the next year, 1954 in Guatemala. But you can go down the list, 73 in Chile. But the thing is, it's not just in the past. These things have continued under even the Obama administration, regardless of whether it's a Republican or Democratic administration. Under Obama in 2009, there's the coup in Honduras. Of course, there's the regime change in Libya in 2011. You can go down the list.
And Ukraine.
Absolutely. Ukraine, and even before that, 2002 in Venezuela, where the U.S. did not want a popular. They had a successful coup, and Chavez was so popular, the people came out into the streets and restored him. This is extreme hypocrisy for the U.S. to accuse Russia.
the shadow government being formed by Barack Obama. And first, Paul, thank you very much, and my congratulations on outstanding reporting.
I don't think Republicans know what they're up against here. He's quietly building this shadow opposition government to sabotage Trump and Republicans as well in their policies, while at the same time saving his own legacy. And he's doing all this through a radical Alinsky group that he founded called Organizing for Action, OFA.
Right.
And they've got an army of agitators, and they are going to, they're fanning out. They're going to hit Republicans even harder next week when they go home for recess back to their home districts. Right. These are professionally trained agitators. They're schooled in Alinsky's Rules for Radicals tactics at a program that lasts 6 weeks. And that's about 32,000 who've gone through that, over 32,000. They've got another 25,000 who are under training now, and they've got another big training summit coming up in March. And we haven't seen the worst of these protests. These are really going to hit hard. But Obama's the guy who's behind all this.